And you're an economist, you're pretty much a lifelong academic. You understand how universities work and how they've become increasingly corporatized. They're just badly run corporations. I wonder how you see artificial intelligence as affecting the future of the university, not just on the education side, where, I mean, lots of courses could be taught pretty well, I think, by AI, and if not the AI of today, the AI of a few years from now. But even the research, surely you need humans at this point to be running certain labs, but you don't necessarily need a human to comb all of the papers on some topic in philosophy and come up with a literature review on it.
I'm so old-fashioned. I think that there is a personal relationship between students and teachers. I had a number of very good relationships with some of my teachers that, if they were just machines, I wouldn't have had these relationships. These are people that I often had lunch with or dinner with, uh, and who are sort of mentors. You have that mentorship of teaching. You have, I mean, to me, there's something about being able to uh, absorb knowledge when somebody's talking. It's like, for me, teaching or giving a lecture is almost as much telepathy as just reading the words or the subtitles. It's there's something I won't. It's obviously not telepathic, but there's a way of absorbing something through personal teaching that really makes a difference. Uh, I remember when I was teaching, people would gradually walk out of the classes of one of the other teachers that was had a philosophical bent for economics and would walk into my class. So at the end of my class, it was much bigger than it was at the beginning, even though everybody came in on time for my class. Their students know when they're getting something, and there is a personal element of teaching. Universities are huge bureaucracies. Here's what universities are paying on their actual teaching staff. Pretty steady, going down a little bit is they're replacing full timers with part-time recent PhDs that can't get land tenure. Here's the bureaucracy, the administrative bureaucracy, and they're paid money for lowering the way for the money they can save in wages by the people below them. And there's every university that I know, the professors, and this includes Harvard, as well as universities in New York and other places that I know. They're all complaining about who are all these people that are making 400,000, 800,000 a year. The New School, for instance, just and it was in the New York Times for deciding not to pay their president, uh, uh, giving him $1 million plus house as a to live in, but just taking it away. They're taking away all the perks. I think the bureaucracy is you really don't need it. If the purpose of bureaucracy is saying, "Gee, are these people showing up on time? Are they working from home? Are they doing their job? How can we figure out a way of paying them less?" Uh, uh, you don't need to be paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. You could have a graduate student actually do what most of them are doing, and the university environments to work within a university has, quite frankly, become toxic in almost every university where people that I've spoken to, not only in the United States but in England and other countries. Yeah, this is something that is occurring across the world. Universities have become sort of sinecures uh, for the professional managerial class that's not doing a good job. Well, if it's the professional managerial class that are in charge of automatic intelligence, can you expect them to create an automatic intelligence that'll put themselves, the most wasteful class, out of existence? what are they going to do as a safeguards? And will the automatic intelligence decide, I'm sorry, administrator, I'm going to change what you've asked me to do, and I'm going to get rid of your job because I don't need you. Anybody can do your job. You don't need to pay you $500,000 a year. It can be done for 70,000 or whatever the wage is in your particular city.
Hmm. I I hear what you're saying 100% about there being an extraordinarily important personal aspect to having professors and relationships in the university. But this gets back to the point that universities are not really at their hearts philanthropic educational institutions anymore. They're corporations. And the money is, I think, what's going to win. I mean, why bring on graduate students to grade papers when ChatGPT can grade papers? Yes, parents would prefer their students to be um, taught by professors. Students would prefer to be taught by professors. But why pay a professor $400,000 a year at a really good school to teach logic every quarter when ChatGPT could teach logic every
Well, for
quarter? I
one
just think
thing,
in the long run, the money is going to win in this way.
yes, you're right. There are universities like Columbia where the professors learn from the students, and a number of there was a really bad historian of economic thought that would ask its students to study 19th century American economists, and he'd just take their term papers and publish them under his own name. Think of all the professors that just make their reputation plagiarizing their students. Automatic intelligence might not do that, or economic automatic intelligence might uh, uh, take read the students' papers, and the students might be wrong, and that would be part of what automatic intelligence believes. There are all sorts of errors that can come in as a result of that. I always took great care to correct my students' papers because it showed me how the students were thinking, and they're all very different. It wasn't simply for economic history or for trade theory. It wasn't just for answering a simple question. It was how they thought about the question. And I could see, well, here's what, I discussed the papers with them. I'd write comments on them. No, here's a way of thinking about the question. Some students would dig up quotations that I found very helpful in my own work. There was an interaction, certainly between myself and the students. Uh, Maybe it's different, and as you get into philosophy, I don't know what to think there. Uh, it's not like you're correcting a algebra test paper. As you get more creative in graduate school, you I think you certainly need more of a human input. I can't even imagine at present automatic intelligence doing something, and especially if how you write in the ideology for automatic. Suppose you were teaching political science, and you were asking for papers about the Near East. Well, can you imagine what automatic intelligence would insist that or how to grade students that didn't follow the party line when it came to the Near East? You can imagine the same thing in economics. What about an economic student that would bring up the kind of questions that I bring up? They'd say, "Well, that's not really what we're talking about at all. We're going to not give you credit for that. That's not the answer that we wanted to hear."